Just in general?
Or just in general?
I was going to say, what's happening?
We're heading in towards our second match of the day over on Erangel. There is a lot of tension, like you said. It's going to have to be probably a massive pair of scissors. Human-sized scissors.
Like the ones you get when you go to Korean barbecue and you've got to cut the beef. Massive scissors.
Yeah. Just enlarged. Yeah.
God.
To cut the tension. Because you're right, it's thick. It's thick.
Palpable.
Yeah.
Other describing words.
Yeah.
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 So talk to me, Blank. Another game.
Another game, another day. But not just any day. This is a PMWC playoffs day.
Oh, yeah.
And we're heading in from Novorossiysk up towards Severny now. 74 points for Yangon Galacticos, but look at that. That last game, Alpha Gaming puts themselves in a very good position to challenge in second place with 70 points, an exact 10-point average for them. Alpha Gaming looking very, very good. Obviously, there has been some amazing plays yesterday just in terms of survival, in terms of grit, making their way through it, continuing to put that damage out. It's nice to see Doc performing at such a level, but not necessarily just on his own. I think that Alpha Gaming has come into their own with these four players on side of Top, Doc, Zyol and Reefers, all incredibly well-known players representing their region. Down towards Sosnovka to start, but they have a long way to go up towards Severny, where the circle resides.
And I think it's nice for Doc as well, of course, because we saw in that opening VT where he was saying, you know, win or lose, we just want people to cheer for us. We want to do this for the fans, for the people that are watching at home from the region. And win or lose, they've been doing that as a team and as individuals. Like you said, so many of the statistical highlights there representing not one, but a couple of the players from the roster. They've been playing off each other very nicely, even in situations, Mike, where it feels like you should be at a disadvantage. They're quick to the draw today. They're looking hot, dialed in for the action, and just ready for it, which is everything you want as we're getting closer and closer to, obviously, tomorrow, the pinnacle day. They keep going like this. Wow.
Yeah. There is a bit of poignancy as well with the fact that you're saying win or lose. We just want people to cheer for us from our region. And I do think it's super important to bring that up, because in the past there has been moments where they have won, yet there's not been a whole amount of cheering, because it's a case of a lot of times, you know, Doc will go off on his own, or we'll make weird plays, we'll go for strange splits, and yeah, the game will be won, but was it won in a way that felt good? Probably not a couple of times for them over the years. And I think that here it really does feel like when they lose together, and I think you can cheer for that, knowing that they've done their best, that they went for rotates that made sense, they were aggressive when it was needed, and you can cheer for them all together. You're not cheering for one singular player at a time. This is a team that has developed nicely as this tournament has gone on. Throwing out some other squads though right now, Alter Ego quite far behind with 4th place at 49 points. It's a big drop-off, Jackie, between Alter Ego and Yangon Galacticos at 74 points, and then down towards 5th with 44 tied in place between Regnankaya and Ida, which is quite nice just in terms of storylines there for that team. But yet some teams will have to step it up, because going into our third and final day, Smash rules will be in effect. Right now, you're just wanting to be as close as possible to first place to set yourself up nicely into day 3 on match point.
I think it's an interesting one as well, because obviously you mentioned it there with Alter Ego. It's the fact that it's been their fragging power where they've been keeping themselves towards this top spot. But it's why there is such a big point differential when you think about placements. They're not getting as deep into games as we've seen before back in the group stage. For them as well, you know, you're just the one chicken dinner, actually, which it comes back to haunt you a little bit. Teams definitely spotting them out. Yes, they can still handle themselves, and you've got a good distribution of firepower with the gun skill, but looking for some of those placement games now, like you say, try and leapfrog further up to get yourself back into a focal position towards the top spot. We get power on our screens as well. Another team that similarly, it's been down to a lot of their work when it comes to taking head-on engagements, hot drops, late game developments where you're looking at sort of 9 to 10 eliminations. But again, teams have scoped them out. They're stopping them from making it too far into the overall flow of the game. We'll see if maybe that will change here for a few of our teams.
the meantime, let's take a look on that northern side. Regnum Kaya currently sat fairly central, looking to push further into this one. For Alter Ego, like you were saying, placement points are a little bit of a scarcity. Definitely not like they haven't got any here, but in terms of Alva's scouting, that was the main thing that kind of made them look special in their group stages, where it was very easy for them to cut themselves away in towards that end game. Definitely different here when you get to the playoffs, where you're playing against the best of the 24, right? Very much confirmed onto, well, not always those rotations are as easy as they were in the past for them. Alva's not finding these critically unclaimed areas of the map. But still, that last game was just a worrying one, but also a promising one, where they get taken down essentially by Sook. He gets a shot, like you were saying before. It was a nasty one that came through over towards Rosemary and one of the players early, so it just slowed them down. Then they move up, they lose 2 on the knock, which allows Alpha Gaming a very clear approach over towards their position. That could have been an amazing game. Just a lot of little mistakes came through, which led to them just not having that opportunity. These sorts of things just can't really happen here in the playoffs, especially when you're playing 3v1 and you're losing 2 players on a knock. That must feel very frustrating. So for a lot of teams who did have those mistakes last game, day 2 is all just about being able to reset game after game after game.
Yeah, you've got no time to let yourself feel disparaged, really, in kind of your head-in-hand moments. It has got to be very quick turnaround from game to game and straight back in, just focusing on the overall run for the championship. Because obviously, as we said, as we clued up, going out a survival stage with no Alpha 7, any one of these squads has the opportunity to be crowned a new champion. You won't have the 2-time possibility, which should really reinvigorate some of the squads as well that are going into this thinking, you know what, we can push for so much here. The legacy, steal away the title, embody ourselves, be another squad that has our history made here live in Saudi Arabia.
Let's take a look at the rotations going through now. Alter Ego, they wrap round over towards Stalbert. Nice bit of high ground to get good vision on. Horror actually finding Sleepy. We have a quick knockout towards Fahidan. Guy backs it off and takes a bit of damage. Nice shots from Alhaji, but there is a response which backs him off. This guy is going to crawl back over towards his teammates whilst priming another nade, and Jiggle's very worried about holding that angle there. Power's going to done a fantastic job here at keeping them at bay.
It's the last magazine for Alhaji as well, with the shotty up close. 6 shells remaining for him. He was pre-firing on the corner, hoping they'd re-peek into it. Ooh, down to the wire there as well to go for the double back to grab Fahidan, but he will be able to pick him up. You've got cover. Hora aren't instantly engaging off for this, and there is protection at least from the rooftop side there, slightly further back. That's easy, a man that is incredibly crisp. He can take the window peek. Oh, nade over, seeing if they can get that one on target, nearly, but not quite hitting the mark.
It's one of the very, very open compounds on the northeast side of the map, just underneath Stalber. This does isolate the fight a little bit. No one's really wanting to run into this one because those sight lines are so open. Does happily contain 2 teams. For Horror, they're figuring out whether this is worth it to them, right? Is it worth it to continue this fight? It's likely not going to end up on this side of the map, and it does not as we shove over towards the western side. The good thing for Horror is they did position Power further away to the point where they could make a getaway first. So they're absolutely going to be ahead of Power in the coming moments.
Yeah, you can set up quicker, which at the end of the day will be far more worth it than running the risk of both of them scrapping it out and you limp away, even with 1 or at worst 2 knocks there if they did take down Power, or vice versa with Horror falling. So it's just not worth the risk. They call it quits, especially with the placements that they're both in 9th and 10th place at the minute. We also get vision of 4 Fribes again. Obviously, this is 4 Fribes that have really been struggling in some of these games. They took some uncomfortable early game exits back in day 1. They were able to upset Power on the hot drop here going into day 2's opening game. It's Team Secret that were near them, but you've got close grouping even with Fireflux that are moving down from the bridge side. A little bit of scouting from Scarface.
Small amount being done there. Identify where teams are playing. It's quite difficult around this area as well because there is a lot of slopes. Does deny those sight lines coming through. Information cut off a little bit. Working in the dark. find a flashlight to figure out the pathways through. Magnum Kaya did move up from that south side slightly to the eastern edge of shooting range, which we all know is pretty horrible at times. We'll see definitely some teams get themselves lined up against that fence. Alter Ego, though, they opted to head far on the north side. They started over towards Stalbert, and they're going to work that coastline over towards Severny, where Weibo Gaming on our screens are lying.
It's been nice to see, at least for Weibo as well, the way they've been able to play even when they're split. Even if it's a solo player, there's been some really good heads-up calls in terms of the impact they've been finding with the gun skill, which has been fun to watch. Obviously for them, you do need to try and push for a bit more, keep those points building. Potential to leapfrog a little bit as well with how close the grouping is there, all the way up from 8th place to just behind Alter Ego in 4th, if they could have a great day of it with some of the squads above, struggling at least into our game here.
The gas on side, refueling, getting ready to go. Quite a bit of space on the northwest edge of this map, which is unclaimed right now, Jackie. Teams will probably have to move out from Rozhok soonish, and the island that sits between Yangon Galacticos on their lineup on that southwest side. It's a pretty awkward circle a lot of times for squads. There's few areas to really post up and stay for a long time, but we're centering on shooting range. Now is actually not a bad time to pick up those buildings that sit around shooting range. You can get naded into them, and the fence around it does provide cover, but it's better than nothing.
You got Ida that almost looked a little bit camouflaged there as well, and they're late roaming towards the circle with the blue matching the actual blue itself. Thunder Talks taking a bit of damage from the side as well. That's Fireflux that have been scouting out, obviously looking for an opening opportunity to get thrown into an engagement here. You got the hovercraft with the quick getaway, so they can at least keep themselves moving. All squads still currently standing. Only one player has been removed from the equation over on the side of Falcons. They're down to a trio, but we might lose some more players here. The close quarters crash comes in. They dive out of the back of the hovercraft, but straight into the forefront of Weibo. They're able to deal some damage. Oh, ring around the rosies, but they're starting to fall down from the third party of DRX.
Now Power moves in as well, sweeps round, they get a lay of the land, figuring out where these players are. A second swipe comes through, and nades would be easy to send over towards that location. Power still figuring things out though, and opts to just send it slightly further back. Easy has the 2 nades to work with, but it's not to go in. So funny that AJ just kind of throws that hovercraft in, hoping to catch a few of them on the approach, just squash them all. Doesn't get any, and then proceeds to sit in the hovercraft thinking about what he's done.
Yeah, time to reminisce, and probably not memories that you'll really want replaying if you have that visual memory. Not ideal whatsoever, and that is how we say goodbye to our first team, at least here as well, with Thunder Talks now going down fully off the back of it. Alpha Gaming, Nonshin, Red Force here, right near each other. Obviously Alpha Gaming, and the difference is they've been able to make some heads-up calls towards the late game, whereas Nonshin, it feels like it's very aggressive PUBG Mobile, right? As soon as they catch whiff of an opportunity, they will dogpile on you and not stop.
Nongshim's scary. I think that Seven was talking about on the desk, how they looked great there. And I think that it's hard with Nongshim Red Force to figure out whether what they're doing is a great play or a bad play, because when it comes to those engagements, they look really good, but how many of those engagements could they have not taken and still found a good game off the back of it without having to waste resources, find bullet holes in their vests, and just move on looking a little bit more clean. Yangon Galacticos over now towards the southwest side. They've been working the problem, working the issue, and now they're holding out Ida, who did try and cross on the island. And I think they've done enough now to slow them down, to make their approach really, really hard.
Alpha caught whiff of E-Arena on that drive-by, but trying to dive out and actually be in a position to get the opening shots off before you lose a player was not worth it. So they've had to keep chicaning around and look for better cover to at least pull up for now. Obviously that's Weibo that are slightly off ever since they had that hovercraft crash that came their way. Fireflux might actually take the punch straight to E-Arena. Joker's been getting a lot of cover down for them, breaking up the sight lines with the smokes at least.
Ida eliminated. The arena recalls the rest of the team back into the action. There is one knock that goes through. Fireflux do get the center of the circle on this one, on this small plateau that they're working with. I was really hoping for a shooting range finish, honestly. It would have been very fun. Sort of like a maze in there at times. Zook finding Reefus on the knock here for Alpha Gaming, who did set up, and they've been in a world of hurt for a long, long time after Thunderdog sent in on top of them. Try to sit that hovercraft down on Weibo. Tony K having a couple of turns of his own. Getting the 360 scope of the land. Oh. Wow, maybe he didn't read it as quite as well as I thought.
Yeah, not quite the full scope of the land. Didn't spot that rock, but luckily they don't punish off the back of it.
90% efficiency.
That 10% goes a long way.
There's Alter Ego. This is an interesting rotate actually, and they're rotating directly over towards Nongshim Red Force, which again, they are a terrifying team. They're still a terrifying team, even though they make mistakes sometimes. You've got to admit that their prowess when it comes to engagements, horrible to run into. Krypton immediately gets knocked down by Sleepy as well. That's over towards the north side because he was slightly late on the rotate, scouting going over towards the west, desperately trying to find an area that they could play in. At least they have information over towards Horror there, and Krypton's death was for not for naught, essentially.
Rosemary, shots down range. Making that one look like the Major 14. Clean connections. It's a nice way to open it up and at least get some bite back over after the damage was done onto their team. So you take Krypton, we'll keep trying to take heads off of you. Quick switch to the secondary as well. Barrage of bullets keeps on coming in, and they're relatively pinned as well. Regnum Kari is seeing the opportunity for this. Toshpik actually with the explosive bow as well. This one could have some sparks to it, Blank.
It could do. I mean, able to get some damage over the top. Alter Ego, they explode a vehicle, and it ends up in misery with Sleepy hitting the deck. He's going to take a nap on this one for a short while, whilst the rest of the team desperately tries to wake him up, shaking him inside that ditch.
15 arrows left. I mean, you can kind of just zone on this and nip at both of the heels. You can keep it uncomfortable for either squad. Ooh, okay. I mean, uncomfortable being the operative word for him now. Quickly, get your head down, reset.
Good shots back over towards Al-Haji, though, from Wild and Loxy. Instantaneous reaction. Horror's going to try and send some nades their way. A little bit further, probably would have found Toshpik. He's got no first aid kits. He's running on 10 bandages, which is not an ideal scenario for them. Fireflux, though, with an awesome position over towards the center. Same with E Arena. Alpha Gaming will need to circumvent shooting range. Get themselves out of there. Target practice in terms of where they'll land on the map.
In a period as well, I was curious if DRX might actually try and make a bit of a move up towards Alpha, but instead you can see the shift around. Zone comes in as well. Fireflux has been in a great spot for quite some time here. It feels like they've always had the zone on their side. 4 Thrives again, another team that's in a good position off the back of the zone shift.
It's a nice compound to work with for 4 Thrives. It's going to be critical when it comes to holding out teams on the western edge, though, right? With that building control, you have to be proactive taking those shots. Regnum Kaya makes a dangerous maneuver because they'll have to move away. One of the teams that is the furthest away from getting in towards the circle, they are bombarding it directly over towards E Arena. Shots are being sent through as that's from Alter Ego, in fact, and Mormon will pick up the pieces.
Ooh, carnage being caused. Fireflux want to hold on to their good position and deny any entrance from Regnum Karia, with Rosemary in the back confirming shots. Bahora peek back up, and it's another one from Jiggle to knock Rosemary down onto his last legs. Meanwhile, you had that head-to-head versus Power and Alpha that was going on over towards shooting range, so it's kicking off in the north. It's all happening in the center as well.
Yeah, Daybot sent away in a vehicle, was on pretty much no HP. Even one tank would take him out, and that desperate run comes to an end very, very quickly. Horror will have to move, though. 4 players all still alive is somewhat surprising from this position, and they make it work. It was an uncomfortable spot to be in, but they laid down in the dirt and finally brushed themselves off and attempt to make it further in towards this circle. Nongshim Red Force challenged them down towards the south side of the map. You're right, DRX have made like a nice little rotate, I would say. It's been slow and steady from that western side. They've been very careful of teams around them. They do find a spot to work with.
Yeah, with some of the opportunities they've been presented to potentially engage on third parties as well, I think they're just thinking about placements. They're playing a more strategic game on this one rather than being baited into anything. Power, though, have been pulling no punches. They took the crash down towards shooting range on Weibo. Now they kick off another instigation here versus E-Arena. But Fireflux are right there on the precipice of being able to clean up on this one.
Fireflux has always had an opportunity to take fights over towards this side. They're never committing too much into the push, though. Constantly just going for something a little bit crushing in terms of teams beneath them, adding a little bit of a casualty in there. And the more teams that go down around them, the more secure their position becomes. Alpha Gaming finally makes a move of their own, though. They've been up towards shooting range. They work their way through, now looking over towards E-Arena as Joker goes down first. Turn EK stops off, but you can't stop for long. Riyadh in a 1v1, I believe, with Nongshan Red Force.
And it's a bit of a smorgasbord of errors as well from both the Falcons and Nongshan Red Force, with the self-knocks that have been coming through, making it a bit uncomfortable in the head-to-head there. One for either side. Koa gets gatted down as well, with Sleepy getting vision. Nongshan Red Force out in the meantime. Oh, shrapnel everywhere. He's been eating C4 for breakfast, and you're not breathing anymore. Just Redox behind the tree. All bark and probably no bite.
The initial nade was very well played coming through from Horror. Still have all players up, by the way. One is knocked, but they are in the process of picking him back up again. Circle moves back down towards the southwest side. And this is definitely one of those games where if 4 Thrives cannot convert on this for a chicken dinner, you're counting them out. Like, this is a massive opportunity for them.
DRX, potentially a big opportunity in this exact head-to-head versus Alpha as well. It'd be a squad you want to take down, make it more uncomfortable for them. Uh-oh, the fire and flames burning down Reefus, but top trade straight back with 2 clean tags over on the DRX, keep him pinned in position, pop up from Yunbin. This is the man that can do so much. A bit of a king in the game in PUBG Mobile, but what's he got for us here? Nice nade, bowls out. Rufus goes down off the back of it. Follow up in as well, rolling downhill. Chip damage on the dock. Meanwhile, Fireflux thrown into the head-to-head versus Aura that they're going to walk away with.
But we're accelerating things big time right now with the circle pushing in over towards Alpha. M79 to drop those smokes quickly and easily to create cover for DRX to reset on this one. They still have 4 players, but not for long, as Top once again re-engages the Mini 14 at distance. This guy is deadly. Fireflux, like you said, great engagement over towards Horror. Kind of sad we missed that one, as it was a clean sweep from Fireflux.
Playstyle again here as well. It's far similar to what we were seeing from Fireflux when they were really starting to dominate, where you had that back and forth between Ketch and Scarface, the way that they were taking engagements, even on the spread. They're being able to work off each other quite nicely. It's a good placement to be in. 7 elims, a ton of damage. Great zone control for the longest time. Alpha on the roam up. It's Scarface with the quick hit. He's hungry, and the dinner plate will smash over the face. Follows up. Zol down. Goodbye, Doc. Just Top trapped behind the tree, and the nade will finish it.
What a clean fight that was. Brought out the dishcloth and mopped that team up. And again, immediately refocusing over towards Team Secret. 2 knocks coming through in the space of bare seconds. Solus will go down, but is in cover. 10 elims on the match here for Fireflux, making it look easy on this northeast side, constantly being a big presence in the game. So weird for Fireflux as well, because you see these games pop up now and again where they just look indomitable inside the lobby. And what can you really do against them? But we need more of this. We need this to happen so much more for Fireflux. It's a lot of times where you see these games and you think to yourself, they're a shining light within inside of this lobby, and other times it's just quite dim on their side.
And I think it's those 2 players that really do bring the lumens to them. It's Ketch and Scarface, and at the minute they're both still alive. That could be the differential factor that could help them out. You look at some of the squads that remain, I mean, the battle of attrition is far better for Fireflux. Regnum Cairo, just one man. It was Wild that was able to actually survive the push through Fireflux ages ago. He's had to keep himself down in the dirt. Hyunbin as well, trapped in. Zone shift, though. Ooh, for 4 Thrives, they've been waiting for so damn long. And it's Yangon that are behind them as well, Blank. So this could cause some infighting.
For 4 Thrives, that compound is really quite good. Circle actually headed over that way. It's hard to get 4 Thrives off because not only does it provide you a lot of cover, there's a huge amount of high ground control you can get from that position, which makes it so difficult when you get to the end game where it's quite a flat space on this region. The Circle cuts out every single building, does not keep a single one in the next circle, and Fireflux have all the control on the eastern side here.
T24's POV here. There's been bullets whizzing through the windows for a while. Yangon just taking the peek over. Romeo's further out. Wild, hello. He finally makes a move with the DBS. Close quarters engagement could take Ketch out of the mix. That's going to be a bit of a sore sight for the Fireflux eyes, losing out on one of their players after what's been a blinding game for them, keeping all 4 alive for a good set of time here.
Losing Ketch is a big deal. One of the prime players on that squad. Wild, though, you can't really ever count this guy out on Regnum Kaya, especially as a solo. He is hailed as one of the best solo players in the game. Mini 14 as well as a DPS. He's got long range as well as close range on lock, but it is IQ to find that shot. Hyunbin now waiting in the wings here between them and Fireflux, and they have no idea.
Oh, Hyunbin. Belly down on the ground, sneaking up towards him. No one's got vision. Jumps up with the DBS. The right hook's good for one, but they reply. They turn around. But again, it's issues. That's all these teams had to do. If they wanted to cause problems for Fireflux taking the game itself, they go from 4-2 in the matter of a minute.
The fire is sputtering here. They need to add more fuel to the flames of Fireflux. Losing both your top players here in the matter of minutes. Scarface as well as Ketch. The other boys now need to step up. Yangon Galacticos with 4 players playing it slow on the southwest edge for a long time. They've been quiet, but now look to be deadly.
Mernat bringing the base. Bullet straight to the face. It's uncomfortable for 4 Thrives. Losing so much manpower. Balak with the peek up. Oh, target-rich environment, but the shots just don't deliver. And 4 Thrives are removed. Yangon bided their time for so long. They've engaged off the back of it and made it work. You can get the pickup as well.
This has been an assassination of a gameplay coming through from Yangon Galacticos. They played it slow, they played it steady. Teams weren't really aware of their position. They've just been holding out, waiting for their time to strike, and their time is now. A long nade comes through from Fireflux, who wrap their way around over towards the western side. Team Secret still holding on desperately. White knuckle grip on that compound towards the eastern side, but finally they have to let go.
And it really is no secret that this is the way they like playing these games. If you give them the stock to play passive, they will wait it out and go for the placements. Romeo, vision over, spots onto one, few bullets, witzing by. It's only 2 players there. They can trade off one another and opt to play this out just with the long con, with the fact they've got so much more stock in the bodies. It's Mernat that gets the first connection off.
Romeo looking to deliver the Shakespearean poison, but there will be no resurrection on the side of Team Secret when they go down. Yangon Galacticos continue to ramp. Fireflux with Myrna, with Matcap as well as Solus. 2 players that can step up. Yangon Galacticos look to roam out. Frankie in a whole world of hurt, likely to go down soon, and Yangon Galacticos are just starting to sweep here. Fireflux have had no say in the decimation that's happened around this map.
And you love to see it as well, because it's a head-up call from them. As soon as they got that first knock, they go for the controlled engagement, so not only stealing away 2 additional Elim points, but also now setting themselves up potentially for the grand prize that's just inches away from them. Coming away with this one with that first place on the chicken dinner.
Yangon Galacticos currently in first place on the rankings as well. This would push them further away from any other squad inside the lobby. They have been so consistently dominant through the playoffs here. Now Fireflux have to move forward directly into the sightlines of Yangon Galacticos, and they're going to deny the points. It had been dawn, but now it's dusk for Fireflux, and Yangon Galacticos will be here when the sun rises, pick themselves up another chicken dinner and forcing themselves way up there in the rankings.
A team that had to fight for survival, keep themselves focused game after game, but as soon as they've made it to the playoff stage, we have seen the true potential of this beast, this unit of a squad. And I think if this doesn't start to silence people thinking potentially, is it a fluke? Is it going to slow down? I don't know what will.
There's a lot of doubters here for Yangon Galacticos. But we're just inside of their galaxy right now, and they continue to take ship after ship down here. Lasers are blaring from this team. It looks fantastic, it looks good, and it doesn't look like it's stopping anytime soon, Jackie.
No, not at all. And they embody it there with the celebrations. They wrap it up and silence the competition. And